Hi, I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS Legal Hotline lawyer, and this is another episode in our series entitled There's a Form for That. And I am again joined by my friend Camden Schutte.
Yep. Camden Schutte, designated broker for 360 Property Management, Coldwell Banker 360 team on Whidbey and Fidalgo Island.
Camden, you're going to write a counteroffer. What form are you going to use?
Form 36.
Okay. You're not going to strike out, interlineate, and have people initial?
Nope.
Although I don't mind that from time to time.
As a designated broker, I don't mind if it's one thing, like purchase price. Go ahead and do it. If it's going to be more than one item, my preference is to see a 36.
I think that's good advice. We're just going to adopt that as our theme going forward in this video. And I wouldn't even say if it's one thing. It has to be one thing that can be changed easily, legibly. Like it might be the offer expiration date up at the top, and it could even be the offer expiration date. No, it would have to be like the offer expiration date, or it could be the purchase price, something like that, right?
Most of those items at the top of Form 21 are pretty easy to do.
There has to be space to cross and right beside it legibly.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you can go into the boilerplate language on the third page of Form 21 and strike something. And okay, let's set that aside and now talk only about countering if you're not going to be able to strike and interlineate.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So Form 36 counteroffer.
All right. So I'm the buyer. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm the seller. Okay. You're the buyer broker. I'm the listing broker. I got your offer. I used a Form 36. I said, I changed the price and then I added 5 additional terms on the Form 36. I give it all back to you.
Sure.
Your buyer's only going to agree to 3 of those things that I said, and they want to add 1 more of their own.
Yep.
What form are you going to use?
I'm going to use another Form 36. And I'm going to write language to modify the 36 you sent me. I'm not going to cross off the 2 and write another one on that Form 36 and then send it back to you. I'm going to counter your counter with another 36.
Okay. So you're going to send me back you're going to send back a new Form 36. It's going to capture the 3 items that I had originally said.
Correct.
And it's going to have the 1 more that you added in.
Yep.
And my seller says, okay, I can do all of that, but only if the price is higher. And so now my seller wants to raise the price. What form am I going to use?
I would hope to see a 36 back from you.
A brand new Form 36?
Absolutely. Why
brand
not?
New Form 36.
And one of the main reasons for using the Form 36 to counter versus, lining through and writing something else is what is the expiration date? Even on the face of Form 21, if you line through the price and write a new price, and you send it back, we all know that by default, it's 2 days.
We don't all know that.
Okay. By default, it's 2 days. But
why is it by default? It's default by 2 days. Camden's right. But here's why. Because if you read close to the bottom of Form 21, there's a provision that's titled Offers and Counteroffers. And it says that if there's no other date given as the expiration date of an offer or counteroffer, it automatically expires 2 days from the date of delivery. So Camden's right. If I simply cross out the purchase price, write in a new purchase price, and deliver the original offer back to him with only those modifications, my counteroffer back to him expires 2 days after I delivered it to him, 2 business days after I delivered it to him.
And what if you want it to expire 1 day?
Yeah. The
counteroffer clears it up for everyone. And that's our goal in everything we do, is to make sure it's clear and understandable. And that's one of the many reasons to use a Form 36, but it's nice and clear on there when it expires.
And that's also the reason not to keep using the same Form 36 and striking on the face of that one, because then it gets really confusing as to when, let's say he sent me the first Form 36. If I modified it and sent it right back, the same exact document to him, the same Form 36, but modified, struck and interlineated, if I sent that right back to him, when does that expire? There's an expiration date given at the bottom, but it's no longer applicable. It becomes very confusing. I've received numerous hotline calls where this is the confusion. And the parties don't know whether they have a binding agreement or not, because they don't know when an offer or counteroffer expired.
Absolutely. So what if I send you a 36 that expires in 2 days and then change my mind?
Can you withdraw it?
Yep.
How are you going to withdraw it? Is there a form for that?
There absolutely is a form for that. I believe it's 36A, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's an offer or counteroffer withdrawal. And as long as you do it before your offer is accepted and delivered back to you, so accepted is the definition, you can withdraw your offer or counteroffer.
Okay. Can I only do that if your offer was written on a Form 36?
Nope.
Yeah.
You can do it anytime.
Anytime. So when, let's say the seller makes a counteroffer to the buyer, and the buyer has 2 days to accept and they're thinking about it, and then on that, before the offer has expired, the counteroffer has expired, and before the buyer accepts, I get another offer. And I want at least to be able to consider this new offer. What does my broker need to do to guarantee to me the ability to negotiate with this new buyer? And the answer is?
A 36A, withdraw that counteroffer, deliver it to the buyer broker. And most of us deliver via email. We all know how that works. Email it to the buyer broker and the firm.
Who signs the 36A?
Whoever submitted the offer. So in this case, it's the seller.
And it's the actual party. It's not the broker,
Correct.
Right? Right. And so in a market where you might be concerned about the seller or the buyer needing to withdraw a counteroffer quickly, it's always been my advice that when you write the offer for your client and have them sign it, have them sign a 36A at the exact same time. You're not going to deliver the 36A, obviously, unless you're instructed by your client to do so. But then if you are instructed by your client to do so, if you're instructed by your client to withdraw that counteroffer quickly, you're ready to do that because you already have a 36A signed by them withdrawing their counteroffer in writing, which you can then just deliver to the broker and the firm on the other side of the transaction and effectively withdraw that counteroffer before the other party accepts.
Yep. Absolutely. Don't write it on the 34. I keep going back to that in all the videos in this series. There's a reason that all these forms are created so that we aren't trying to draft that language. The more that we can use the statewide forms, the better. So know your forms and know there's a form for that.
Well, this is actually a huge issue because and read the preamble, the introductory paragraph on Form 36 and read the introductory paragraph on Form 34. They are very, very different. Form 34, all it says is that it's an addendum attached to and made part of the purchase and sale agreement. It's attached to the purchase and sale agreement. That's the Form 34. It's not a counteroffer. Form 36, on the other hand, the opening paragraph says it's a counteroffer and that it accepts or it adopts all of the offering terms except as modified by the counteroffer terms set forth on that addendum. Dramatically different forms. So if what your seller wants to do is counter, they want to change the purchase price. The buyer offered $100,000 and they want to counter at $110,000. And you have your seller sign the buyer's offer, and then you add a Form 34 that says the purchase price is $110,000. What have you done? Well, at least arguably, your seller has accepted the buyer's offer at $100,000, and you have also asked them, hey, would you agree to change the price to $110,000? But at least arguably, you've already agreed to $100,000. That's the risk in using a Form 34 instead of a counteroffer addendum when what you're trying to draft is a counteroffer.
Absolutely. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
If you have a Form 36, the counteroffer, does your client need to sign Form 21?
Yes. There's a technical answer and there's a right answer. And the right answer is yes. If I'm the listing broker and my seller receives an offer and they counter the buyer's offer by using a Form 36, I will have my seller sign the Form 36 and I will have my seller sign the Form 21 and all of the other addenda to the buyer's offer. And to the extent my seller is at all uncomfortable with that because they're concerned that the buyer might not see the Form 36, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to write Form 36 in the addenda line on the face of Form 21 so that it's obvious that a Form 36 is added, and nobody needs to initial that because all that the addenda line are is a note-keeping process, an index of the forms that are attached. So Form 36 becomes part of the index. Or right above the seller's signature line, I'm going to write see Form 36, see attached Form 36, something like, or see seller's counteroffer on Form 36, however you want to say it to make the seller feel good. But the technical answer, and this is what I want you to hear and then forget, is that seller could sign only the counteroffer addendum, and with that, they would be in a binding agreement with the buyer. It's a terrible way of doing business because then you have no proof as a listing broker that the seller saw the purchase and sale agreement, the Form 21, or any of the addenda, that they acknowledged them, none of that. So you have them sign and initial all of the forms, plus sign the Form 36. Got any more
agree.
crazy rabbit holes you want us to run down?
Nope, that's it.
All right. If you have any questions on this topic or any other, please visit warealtor.org, follow the links to the legal hotline, and then ask me a question. Thank you for being a Washington REALTORS member.